celebration. But there are many different meanings of Australia Day, depending on your personal history of being Australian. Today I will explain the most well-known meanings of Australia Day and what I believe should be the true meaning. The first fleet of British convicts landed in Botany Bay on the 26th of January, 1788. Fun fact, my ancestors were convicts in this fleet. Their names were Henry Cable and Susanna Holmes. They were the first convicts ever to be released in a new colony and the first convicts ever to be married in Australia. When the first fleet arrived, they made Australia seem like a whole entire different country. They built camps, roads, houses and tracks, and planted crops for the benefit of the convicts and their masters. This meaning of Australia Day is that it celebrates the white settlement of Australia and the beginning of a new nation. But of course, although Australia was named and settled by the British, it was already its own country and had been for many, many thousands of years, which leads us to the next view of Australia Day. Many people, especially Aboriginals, see Australia Day as a day where the Indigenous Australians lost their country. Of course, Australia was still their country after the British invaded, but it was going through some major changes. Imagine this, just a normal summer day in your country with your family and your friends, when all of a sudden, a whole lot of strange boats come sailing into view and hundreds of people come ashore. This perfect day has turned on you. You're being invaded. Pretty soon, your friends become sick and say they feel like jelly. Many die, some from the awful contagious diseases brought by these invaders, and others from the invaders' weapons. Some years later, more arrive, a lot more, and they keep coming. They stare at you and your friends like you are monsters. Does celebrating that sound like fun? Celebrating? No way. This shows that the meaning of Australia Day for many Australians is the meaning of mourning and grief rather than fun and games. Then there are the more recent immigrants that have come from overseas. Does Australia Day celebrate all the cultures, colours and religions of the real Australia? Maybe we should change the date of our National Day of celebration so it has meaning for all Australians. After all, when you think about it, very few of us are descendants of British settlers, even though I am. And that date was only about the settling of Sydney town. Other parts of Australia were settled later on. That's why I say we should change the date of our National Day of celebration, because it needs to celebrate all of Australia. Sure, our current day celebrates the English convicts and settlers and their descendants who arrived in New South Wales only on the 26th of January 1788. But what about the rest of Australia? We should choose a day that has meaning for the Indigenous Australians, the descendants of the Chinese and Irish from the mid-1800s gold rush, the Europeans who came after World War II, the Vietnamese refugees who came during the 1970s Vietnam War, the many refugees fleeing from war and persecution today, and many, many more yet to come. All of these people and their descendants are Australian. The real Australia is a multicultural population, and it's not just made up of English settlers' descendants. It's time to make a new National Day of celebration to give true meaning to all of us. Let's find a meaning for the real Australia Day.